This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. If you were to take Ben Shapiro at his word, you'd think that he's a free speech knight in shining armor. It's Ben Shapiro's free speech world, and we're all just living in it. That man never lets an opportunity slip by where he doesn't pretend that he's fighting censorship everywhere his tiny little feet can carry him. A few weeks ago, Ben Shapiro donned his freedom of speech cape and went out to crusade for Steven Crowder. You probably remember Steven Crowder got demonetized on YouTube, and right-wing freedom of speech warriors were frothing at the mouth with rage. Buckets of right-wing tears were shed over Steven Crowder's lost YouTube revenue. If you're not familiar with Crowdergate, I'll give you a two-sentence synopsis. One, Steven Crowder's hilarious shtick includes intentionally using hostile slurs against gay people in order to grow his audience. And two, YouTube decided that Crowder can continue using its service to host his videos, but will no longer serve ads from its advertisers on his content. That's it. That's the whole deal. Look, I personally know how frustrating demonetization can be. I've explained many times before that a lot of my videos addressing important issues end up getting permanently demonetized by YouTube. In total, I've spent thousands of hours on what have essentially been my passion projects. Videos I really want people to see, but know in the end that they're not going to be monetized. In fact, there's a very good chance that this very video won't be monetized. And that's life. I don't always understand it, but that's the business we've chosen. We, meaning Steven Crowder and me and anyone else who does this for a living. And anyone in this type of media business is fully aware of what I call playground rules. Platforms are playgrounds, and playgrounds have rules. If you want to bring your toys to someone else's playground, then play by the rules of that particular playground or go home. The playground rules that they're bitching about right now in this case are YouTube's terms of use. And here is where it gets interesting. Let's take a look at Ben Shapiro ringing the alarm about YouTube's unfair playground rules.
YouTube is now cracking down on any creator who offends somebody. This is basically what we have learned over the past 24 to 48 hours. You don't have to violate YouTube's terms of service in order for them to penalize you if you whine enough. So if you whine a lot, you can get YouTube to pull down creators' videos, thousands of creators' videos. If you whine a lot and claim that you are a victim and suggest that you are being harassed, well then, your whininess is bravery. Your whininess is great.
Ben Shapiro has had it up to here with companies that give in to whiners who cry about offensive content. He didn't go to Harvard Law School to stand idly by while private companies put limits on offensive and abusive material. Again, I'd hate to be a fly on the wall of that room when the great and mighty Ben Shapiro has to use his favorite weapons of fact and logic to take apart draconian terms of use like this. You may not use the site to post material that is offensive, abusive, or hateful. Terrible, right? Yeah. Except these terms of use are from, are you ready for it? Ben Shapiro's own website, The Daily Wire. They're his own terms of use. Of course they are. I mean, who is even capable of being shocked about the hypocrisy of conservatives anymore? Hypocrite is like a second language that these dipshits speak fluently. While publicly, Ben Shapiro acts as though a standard of offensiveness is repugnant to him, he carefully protects his own little playground with a legal contract that prohibits offensive and abusive material. That tiny print will get you every time, Lil Ben. But why stop there? Let's take a look at some others. Off the top of my head, I can name a lot more right-wing liars who publicly beat their chests about freedom of speech while protecting their own businesses with carefully worded terms of service that will allow them to give anybody the boot. How about Glenn Beck and Mark Levin's Blaze TV, the home of Louder with Crowder, the very same Steven Crowder who is shocked, I tell you, that his own offensive speech is being regulated by private companies like YouTube. Well, Blaze TV doesn't even let you pick a username that is offensive, but more than that, Blaze TV's terms of use prohibit harassment, harm, or even embarrassment of others. They also prohibit their users from posting anything that is abusive, harassing, harmful to reputation, hateful, racist, derogatory, or otherwise objectionable. How hilariously hypocritical.
That center line on his little queer graph there. What is
well,
that
now
line?
the graph is queer?
Violence, filth.
Okay, so the little queer could eat his chips all nonchalantly. It's code for rape, Mr. Queer eating chips on the Vox channel. Chip, 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 but you can eat just one. Like dicks. This is what Mr. Gay Vox wants to do. Mr. Lispy Queer from Vox. What were you holding, Gay Latino from Vox? Even his hand movement in fast motion is gay. Now we're here with the short-haired angry lesbian on Skype. And cable news bitching. Two gay guys sitting there eating a banana. We get the symbolism there. Oh, okay, so you really are just an angry little queer. All right, I can't deal with this Sprite anymore. Okay, he just sachets across without the Gay Vox Sprite is wrong. Now he could be a tranny, Your Honor. How many lispy, angry Sprites and Vox sachet across your screen and try and tell you otherwise? Or you, by the way, the gay Mexican guy, the gay Latino V-neck, gay Mexican, or Mexican gay guy used to work, Mexican gay Latino there at Vox. Oh, gay Latino from Vox, the token Vox gay atheist Sprite with surprisingly flaccid chest, considering how thin he is. It's very bizarre to me.
Ugh. Let's keep going. Have you heard of Dangerous.com? This very scary and edgy and fearless sounding site is owned by free speech warrior himself, Milo Yiannopoulos, who makes a living ridiculing the delicate sensibilities of the left. Yet, on his site, you're prohibited from even linking to or linking from another site that may have controversial content on it. So very brave, Milo. How about Breitbart.com, home of the strong and the unintimidated? Well, according to their terms of use, you can't even use their site to, and are you ready for this? You can't even use their site to annoy others. So far, nothing, but I'm sure Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA bros are the vanguards of the anti-censorship movement. They were a little tricky to pin down, no terms of service on their main site, but they do run summits for high school kids. Hooray for indoctrination. And there, they do have a few rules, one of them being that if you act unbecoming or use abusive language, you'll be banished from their events. I wonder if they're going to yank them off the stage when Dingus Don Jr. starts a chant of "lock her up," or Charlie Kirk begins ranting about how there's only two genders. So, yeah, count this as yet another installment in a series of right-wing hypocrisy, building little walls and rules and regulations around their own digital properties while screaming about anyone else doing the exact same thing.